Welcome the rare gems. Have you ever wondered why some women cannot be neatly described by one personality type or lifestyle label? They seem to carry a depth that refuses to be boxed in. That is the world of Sigma females. They are not defined by one single way of living because their strength shows itself in different forms. Some thrive in silence, others shine through creativity, and some carry a level of resilience that makes them unshakable. What unites them is not sameness, but a refusal to live small. When we talk about Sigma females, we are not talking about perfection or trying to live up to an image. We are talking about women who move with intention, who know when to stand firm, when to walk away, and when to rebuild themselves from the ground up. Each type of Sigma female shows a different shade of what it means to live authentically. Some are protectors, some are seekers of truth, some live for simplicity, and others chase freedom because they cannot stand the weight of cages built by others. Here's the exciting part. Out of the 12 types we are about to explore, a Sigma female may embody one, two, or even all of them at different stages of her life. It is not about being locked into a single identity, but about evolving, adapting, and growing stronger through experience. So, as you listen, keep an open mind and heart. Notice the type that resonates with you most and share it in the comments, because your journey might inspire someone else to embrace their own. Let's dive into it. The rare gems. Number 1. The strategic observer. The strategic observer is a Sigma female who understands the quiet power of patience. She is never in a hurry to prove a point or jump into situations without understanding them first. Instead, she stands back, takes everything in, and allows people and events to reveal themselves. This is not hesitation, it is precision. She knows that every decision she makes will carry weight, so she studies the details that most people overlook. Think about those moments in life when everyone around you is rushing. Friends may jump into relationships too quickly. Co-workers may react to challenges without thinking, or family members may push for instant answers. The strategic observer handles those moments differently. She pauses. She watches how things unfold. She notices body language, tone of voice, and small contradictions that others dismiss. This is what gives her an advantage. While others are blinded by urgency, she is busy connecting the dots. For example, in the workplace, while colleagues fight for the spotlight, she quietly studies the dynamics. She sees who talks the loudest but contributes the least, who genuinely solves problems and who pretends to. By the time she steps forward, her move is calculated, and it cannot be ignored because she already understands the terrain better than anyone else. In personal life, she may notice patterns in relationships before they turn into problems. A subtle shift in someone's consistency, a repeated excuse, or a change in energy does not escape her attention. She does not call it out immediately. Instead, she waits until she is certain. This is how she protects herself from manipulation and wasted effort. The strategic observer reminds us that silence is not weakness and waiting is not wasting time. Sometimes the strongest move is not to act immediately, but to understand the game before making your play. This Sigma female proves that the one who moves last often moves best. Number 2. The silent challenger is a Sigma female who does not need to raise her voice to make people uncomfortable. She carries a kind of resistance that cannot be ignored, even when she says nothing at all. While many are quick to argue or debate in order to prove themselves, she has no interest in fighting battles for the sake of winning. Her strength lies in the way she quietly disrupts the expectations that others try to place on her. Picture a workplace meeting where everyone is nodding along with an idea that clearly does not make sense. Most people stay silent because they do not want to stand out, but the silent challenger does something different. She may not immediately argue, but the way she holds her expression, the calm pause before she speaks, or even the questions she asks makes others rethink the entire conversation. Without raising her voice, she forces people to examine what they are saying. Her silence itself is pressure. In everyday life, this shows up in her refusal to play along with traditions or social rules that do not align with her values. If friends pressure her to join in on something meaningless, She does not waste time explaining herself in long arguments. She simply does not participate. Her choice alone becomes a statement. Those around her feel her resistance and begin to question why they are blindly following. What makes her so powerful is that she is not driven by the need to prove anyone wrong. She is driven by her inner compass, and that compass never wavers. People expect pushback in the form of loud words, but her challenge is more unsettling because it is silent. It cannot be dismissed as drama or ego. The silent challenger reminds us that strength does not always roar. Sometimes the greatest challenge you can present to the world is refusing to bend to its pressure, even if all you give in return is silence. Number 3. The Untamed Spirit is a Sigma female whose heartbeat is tied to freedom. She is not reckless, and she is not rebelling just for the sake of it. What drives her is the deep understanding that she cannot expand, evolve, or truly live if she is trapped inside cages built by someone else. Rules and labels that are meant to box her in feel suffocating because they reduce her to something smaller than she really is. Think of someone who thrives in routines and structures that others design for them. That may work for many, but for the Untamed Spirit, it feels like wearing clothes 2 sizes too small. She cannot breathe in a life that limits her movement. Instead, she needs space to explore, to question, and to shape her world on her own terms. You can see this in her career choices. While others may stay in a job they dislike just because it feels safe, the Untamed Spirit would rather take the risk of building something new that reflects her vision. It is not about chasing instability, it is about refusing to settle for a life that slowly erases her fire. In relationships, she carries the same energy. She cannot be with someone who tries to control her or dictate who she should be. Instead, she flourishes with people who give her space to grow and celebrate her individuality. If that space is taken away, she does not shrink to fit. She walks away because her freedom is not negotiable. What makes her inspiring is that she teaches us all a lesson about courage. She shows that real growth does not happen in comfort zones. It happens when you choose to break out of cages, even if those cages feel familiar. The Untamed Spirit lives as a reminder that freedom is not just a lifestyle, it is the very air that keeps her alive. Number 4. The Resilient Survivor is a Sigma female who has faced storms that would have broken most people, yet she stands unshaken. Her story is not one of avoiding hardship, but of enduring it and using it as fuel for her strength. Every challenge she has faced has left a mark, but instead of hiding those scars, she allows them to shape her into someone tougher, wiser, and more grounded. Imagine someone who loses their footing after a setback at work, maybe being overlooked for a promotion they worked hard for. Many people might give up or carry bitterness. The Resilient Survivor reacts differently. She takes the disappointment, studies what it taught her, and then turns it into a stepping stone. By the time she makes her next move, she is sharper and harder to stop because she has learned from the storm rather than being crushed by it. In relationships, she brings the same resilience. She might have been betrayed, abandoned, or underestimated, but she does not let those experiences define her. Instead, she grows from them. She learns what true loyalty looks like. She becomes more skilled at recognizing red flags, and she understands her own value more deeply than before. Pain does not make her bitter. It makes her clear about what she will and will not accept. What makes her remarkable is that she does not wear her struggles as a badge of pity. People may never know the battles she has fought because she carries herself with quiet strength. The Resilient Survivor lives with the confidence of someone who knows she has already walked through fire and made it out stronger. She is a reminder that survival is not just about getting through difficulties. It is about transforming pain into wisdom and turning scars into armor. The Resilient Survivor shows us that you do not need to be untouched by life to be powerful. You only need the courage to rise again every time it tries to knock you down. Number 5. The Minimalist Soul is a Sigma female who understands that true richness in life does not come from how much you collect, but from how much you can let go. She finds beauty in simplicity, and this is not about owning fewer things just for the sake of it. It is about being deliberate with her time, her energy, and even her emotions. Everything she does has intention behind it. In a world where many chase endless possessions or constantly fill their days with noise, the minimalist soul moves differently. She carefully chooses what belongs in her life and what does not. Picture her home. It may not be overflowing with decorations, but everything there carries meaning. A book that shaped her thinking, a chair that brings her comfort, or a piece of art that sparks her creativity. Nothing is there just to fill space. The same principle guides her relationships. She does not keep people around simply because of history or convenience. If someone consistently drains her peace or blocks her growth, she does not hold on out of guilt. She understands that love and loyalty mean more when they are chosen freely, not forced by obligation. Even with her emotions, the minimalist soul practices this discipline. She does not waste energy on endless grudges or pointless arguments. Instead, she saves her emotional fire for what truly matters. This is why she often feels calmer and more centered than those who spread themselves thin trying to be everywhere and please everyone. The minimalist soul is a reminder that simplicity is not emptiness. It is clarity. It is choosing fewer distractions so you can give more of yourself to what is truly important. In her world, less is not a loss. Less is power. She shows us that life feels lighter, deeper, and more meaningful when you stop carrying what no longer serves you. Number 6. The mysterious magnet is a Sigma female who never needs to demand attention, yet people cannot help but notice her. She carries an aura that sparks curiosity, the kind that makes others want to know more but never quite feel like they fully understand her. What sets her apart is not loudness or dramatic gestures. It is the quiet way she holds back, giving the world only fragments of herself while keeping the rest hidden deep inside. Think about everyday life. When someone overshares, people may listen at first, but eventually the interest fades. The mysterious magnet does the opposite. She shares selectively, like giving out pieces of a puzzle. Her co-workers might know she is good at her job, but not much about her private life. Friends might know her sense of humor, but have no idea what keeps her up at night. That gap between what is seen and what is hidden is what draws people closer. In relationships, she is equally intriguing. She does not rush to reveal her whole story, and that makes every layer of her feel more valuable. A partner may think they know her completely, only to realize months or years later that there is still more to discover. She keeps her depth safe, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. The magnetic pull she has comes from restraint. By not putting everything on display, she leaves space for imagination. People sense her authenticity, but they also sense that she is not fully accessible. And that combination is irresistible. The mysterious magnet teaches us that you do not have to be loud to be unforgettable. Sometimes the most captivating presence is the one that holds back just enough to keep people wondering. She reminds us that mystery is not emptiness. It is power, carefully guarded. Would you like 7? The lone creator is a Sigma female who thrives in silence. While others might broadcast their every move or seek constant approval during the process, she prefers to work quietly in her own corner. Her ideas, projects, and visions grow away from the noise, nurtured in spaces where nobody is watching. By the time she finally shares her work, it is already complete, already refined, and often far beyond what people expect. Think about the way most people approach new goals. They announce them to everyone. They talk about what they are planning, what they want to achieve, and what they will become. The lone creator has no interest in talking about it. She is too busy doing it. For example, instead of telling her friends that she wants to write a book, she spends her nights filling page after page. Months later, she casually reveals a finished manuscript. The surprise leaves everyone stunned. Not because they doubted her, but because they had no idea she was building something so powerful. The same applies to her professional life. While colleagues may spend time trying to be noticed, she works behind the scenes, solving problems, refining strategies, or building systems that no one even thought of. By the time others realize her contribution, the work is done, and it speaks louder than any announcement ever could. In personal life, the lone creator might be crafting art, designing a business, or even reshaping herself through personal growth. She does not rush to show the world each small step because she understands that greatness is better revealed when it is whole. What makes her exceptional is her ability to resist distractions and keep her vision sacred until it is ready. The lone creator reminds us that silence is not emptiness. It is often the birthplace of extraordinary things. She teaches that the most powerful results are not always the ones we talk about, but the ones we reveal when they are too strong to be ignored. Number 8. The sharp analyzer is a Sigma female who notices what others overlook. She does not simply listen to what people say, she pays attention to how they say it, how their voice shifts, how their body reacts, and even the energy they bring into a conversation. Where most people take words at face value, she digs beneath the surface to uncover what is really happening. Imagine a friend saying, "I'm fine." Most people would accept that and move on. The sharp analyzer catches the hesitation in their tone, the forced smile, the way their eyes avoid contact. She knows instantly that something is not fine. This is her gift. She sees through masks and filters because she studies the details others are too distracted to notice. In the workplace, this ability becomes a quiet superpower. While colleagues may be swayed by flashy presentations or confident voices, she is the one who spots the cracks. She notices the numbers that do not add up, the promises that sound too polished, or the nervous tap of a hand that reveals uncertainty. By reading beyond appearances, she avoids traps and makes decisions that others regret missing. Even in relationships, the sharp analyzer carries this skill. She can sense when someone's affection is genuine and when it is motivated by hidden agendas. She is not easy to fool because charm alone does not work on her. Her mind processes information like a puzzle, piecing together truths that others prefer to ignore. What makes her remarkable is that she does not use this gift to control people, but to protect her peace and choose wisely who deserves her time. The sharp analyzer reminds us that understanding the world requires more than listening to words. It requires watching, sensing, and reading the spaces between the lines. She proves that precision is power, and with her, nothing important ever goes unnoticed. Number 9. The protective guardian is a Sigma female who may often appear reserved and private. But when it comes to the people she loves, she transforms into an unshakable force. She does not go around announcing her loyalty, yet it runs so deep that anyone who threatens her family, her close friends, or even the people she quietly cares about will quickly learn how strong her boundaries are. Think of everyday life. A protective guardian might be the quiet sister who keeps to herself most of the time, but the moment someone disrespects her sibling, she steps forward without hesitation. Her words may be few, but they carry the weight of someone who means every syllable. She does not fight to prove herself. She fights because love leaves her no other choice. In friendships, this type of Sigma woman is the one who shows up when it matters most. She may not always be at every party or gathering, but when you are going through a storm, she is the one who will stand in the rain with you. She is not loud about her loyalty, but it is consistent, and consistency is the purest form of love. Even in her professional life, the protective guardian extends this nature. She might not be overly social, yet if someone on her team is unfairly treated, she becomes their shield. She cannot stand by and watch injustice against those she values. What makes her extraordinary is the balance she holds. She may enjoy solitude, but solitude never makes her selfish. Instead, it sharpens her sense of who is worth protecting. The protective guardian reminds us that real loyalty is not about constant presence, but about unwavering support when it truly counts. Her love is not loud, but it is immovable, and that makes it priceless. Number 10. The Stoic Mind is a Sigma female who moves through life with a calmness that others find hard to understand. She does not get swept away by drama or emotional storms, no matter how intense they may be. Instead, she grounds herself in logic, patience, and perspective. This does not mean she lacks emotions. She feels deeply, but she has mastered the art of not letting those emotions dictate her decisions. Picture a family conflict where voices are raised and everyone is scrambling to prove their point. While others are consumed by anger or tears, The Stoic mind does not get pulled into the chaos. She listens, she observes, and when she finally speaks, her words are sharp and measured. Her clarity often cuts through the noise, leaving others wondering how she stayed so composed while they lost control. In the workplace, this strength becomes even more powerful. When projects fall apart or deadlines loom, colleagues may panic, but she keeps her focus. Instead of reacting to stress, she calmly looks for solutions. This steadiness earns respect because in moments when everyone else is overwhelmed, she becomes the anchor. Even in her personal life, she applies this discipline. If someone tries to provoke her with insults or emotional games, she refuses to give them the reaction they crave. Her silence and composure speak louder than anger ever could. What makes her remarkable is that she embodies strength without needing to display aggression. Her calmness unsettles those who thrive on drama because they cannot shake her balance. The Stoic mind reminds us that true power is not in shouting the loudest or reacting the fastest. It is in standing steady when the world expects you to crumble. She proves that peace within yourself is the sharpest weapon you can ever carry. Number 11. The truth seeker is a Sigma female who refuses to waste her time on the surface level of life. She's not interested in conversations that circle around gossip, small talk, or empty compliments. What she longs for is depth. She wants to understand what drives people, what they believe in, what they fear, and what they dream about. Anything that feels plastic or rehearsed instantly loses her attention. Imagine sitting with her at a dinner table. While others might be chatting about the latest trend or the newest purchase, she will lean in and ask you what truly excites you, what lessons you have learned from pain, or what keeps you awake at night. She knows that behind every smile and casual remark, there is a real story waiting to be uncovered. That is the part she wants to see, because for her, truth is the only thing worth connecting with. In relationships, the truth seeker thrives on raw honesty. She cannot stand pretense. If someone puts on a mask to impress her, she will sense it immediately and lose interest. But if a person opens up and shows their vulnerabilities, she respects that deeply, because it takes courage to be real in a world that rewards appearances. Her search for truth extends beyond people. She is the type who reads between the lines, questions traditions, and looks past the obvious. Whether it is a news headline, a workplace policy, or a cultural expectation, she asks the questions that many avoid. The truth seeker reminds us that life becomes richer when you dig beneath the surface. She teaches that depth is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. In a world full of filters and facades, her presence is a rare invitation to drop the mask and be genuine. Number 12. The uncompromising standard setter is a Sigma female who refuses to shrink herself to fit into a world that often rewards mediocrity. She holds herself to a standard that is not driven by applause or validation, but by an inner conviction that life is too short to be lived halfway. For her, doing something well is not optional. It is the only way forward. Think about how this shows up in her daily life. At work, she will not submit a project that she knows is half-baked. If it carries her name, it must carry her full effort and her full focus. She would rather take longer to get it right than rush to deliver something average. This does not come from a place of perfectionism, but from self-respect. She knows her work is a reflection of her character, and she treats it with care. In relationships, the same principle applies. She does not settle for partnerships that drain her or friendships that lack depth. She invests in people who show honesty, effort, and growth. If someone tries to meet her with half-truths, laziness, or games, she will not bend her standards just to keep them around. They either rise to her level or fade out of her life. Even in her personal growth, she pushes herself. Whether it is learning a new skill, taking care of her health, or pursuing a dream, she expects more from herself than comfort. She refuses to live small, and that refusal creates a quiet but powerful pressure for others to step up as well. What makes her remarkable is that her standards are not about arrogance. They are about honoring herself. The uncompromising standard setter reminds us that you teach people how to treat you by the standards you keep. And when you hold the line firmly, you discover who is truly worthy of walking beside you. In final words, what does it really mean to live life on your own terms without being trapped by labels, expectations, or limits? That is the essence of the Sigma female. She does not follow a single mold because there is no single way to define her. Some of them are quiet observers, others are bold creators, some carry the weight of scars with resilience, while others walk with a love for freedom that refuses to be caged. Each one is different, yet they are all connected by the strength to live authentically. The truth is, being a Sigma female is not about trying to stand out or prove anything to the world. It is about listening to that inner voice that says, you were never meant to shrink yourself just to make others comfortable. It is about recognizing that solitude can be powerful, that silence can be louder than noise, and that your growth does not require an audience. Think about it this way. The strategic observer sees what others overlook. The untamed spirit refuses to be boxed in. The resilient survivor turns pain into power. The lone creator brings visions to life in her own time. These are not roles to be copied. They are reminders that strength shows itself in many forms, and each one is valid. So if you see yourself in these descriptions, take it as encouragement. Your path does not need to look like anyone else's for it to be meaningful. The way you choose to love, build, protect, and evolve is already enough. You do not need to explain yourself to people who cannot understand your rhythm. The different types of Sigma females teach us that true power is not about fitting into definitions, but about creating your own. And maybe that is the greatest lesson of all. You are allowed to be complex, you are allowed to grow, and most importantly, you are allowed to be fully you. Thank you for watching The Rare Gems, and God bless you.